All right, so today's lecture basically is writing effective user stories. So in our reports, we need students to write the user stories. So some students ask me some questions how to write the user story. So in order everyone has same format and on the same page. So I think it's very necessary to have a lecture to talk about how to write user stories. So just to make sure, today class will be online. So for the remote, if you have any question, you can just let me know. So in the end of the lecture, we have a individual assignment, in-class assignment. So please make sure after the class, after you watch this video, you you should be able to write the user story and upload the user stories to the Canvas. So there's detail of the assignment. So we will talk about later. So let's go. So writing effective user story. So user story is very important to the software development. It's not just in the business world. So user story right now in many developments they trying to keep this simple and user centralized. So they trying to use the user story to guide the developer to develop applications. So those are definition. So what's a user story? So a user story is a simple, concise description of the software feature. Okay, important keyword software feature, written from the end user perspective. Since, in the past of the 4 weeks, we're trying to understand what's the user's need. So that means we're trying to standing at the user's perspective and trying to help them to come up what do they really need. Okay, so based on that user story can help our team to understand user need and build a feature that provide value. Okay, so we need to make sure what's the need for the users and what kind of features we're trying to build, which can provide real value to this application. Okay, so normally the format would be um, as a user role. So what kind of user could it be patient, could it be parent, could it be um the fitness user. So so I want, okay, what kind of feature? So this feature should be actionable. S- so that's benefit or so that's a reason. So this is a typical, the user story. Some user story has a very long scenarios. Some user story keep it simple, but they must have this structure. So for example, in one of the um, our class, we have a medication management app. So you can see this. So as a patient, so this is a role. So as a patient, I want receive medication reminders so that I will never miss a dose. So in this example, so you can see this is a role. This is the feature, or you can see this is the action. So always come with action. Okay, a rec I want to receive medication reminders so that I will never miss a dose. Okay, it could be you can understand the reason why I need to receive a medication reminder. At the same time, this is kind of a benefit, all right? So As I said, the reason why we use the user story, um, we're trying to encourage, the designs based on the user centered, okay, focusing on the user's need. We're trying to make sure it's not just the developer in their team, they're trying to develop something for the user. We're trying to engage developer, designer, stakeholders, okay, all of them together, to collaborate them into on the same page and make sure we accurately locate the user stories. Okay, so this is something very different with other with most of you guys experience, to do the development, you're trying to using lengthy uh, technic technical specification to develop. Instead, we're trying to using clear, simple documentation. Okay, so this is something right now. The most of a company they trying to do the development mode is Android development. So Android development, as I said, they want to be small, manageable work unit. So compared to large, sometimes not reasonable, it's not easy to maintain, it's not easy to be reused. So Android trying to promotes this kind of the work unit. So right now, the big tech, they just they try using the Android instead of the waterfall, this development mode. So I believe this can for you guys can take the benefits, to practice user story. So as I said, a good user story should be kept simple, management. Um, Taxable, reusable, negotiable. So it's very important. So make sure the user story is independent, not dependent on any other user stories. Sometimes it's allow the people to allow people to discuss. Okay, so some user story can lead the people to do more like discussions, brainstormings. Sometimes can help you guys to understand the user more. Um, Also, we can try to estimate, what kind of effort we can put, and also we can help this user story can help you guys to list the top priority, that means core features, for your application first. Also can be complete very short iteration. So for example, some application you try to um, try to deliver one feature. So we deliver one feature at a time. We have the version one, then we ask a user to test. Then, we do another version 2. We ask a user to test, you know, make this one, to the version 3. Sometimes this cycle only take, 1 week. So it's really depend on, the application, complexity, but most of the time, the small features is could be easily to implement in 1 week or 2 weeks. It's based on the size of the user story. And also, once we develop this one, it's easy to be, to be tested for validation. Okay, so how to write clear and the effective user story. So the step one, you're trying to make sure you identify, the right users. So who the most important part, you need to ask your team who will benefit from this feature. So many of you guys trying to do like health one. So health related could be patient, doctor, fitness users, nutritionist, athlete, parents. Definitely they can benefit with some of the features because right now most of you guys create something, it's not just for one role, could be many different roles. Okay, then you need to trying to define the action. Okay, what kind of things user want to accomplish. So try using clear, action-oriented language such as check, monitor, schedule, notifier, analyze, such as that reminder. So those the language is very clear and it's action-oriented language. Okay, then you need new the step three. You need to try to explain the benefit. Okay, what does the user want this feature? Focus on the value or problems it's solved. Okay, so this is very important because this explain why you're doing this and what kind of the benefits or results you're trying to provide to solve the problem. Okay, so those are some examples I consider, probably you guys can take a, can utilize in your own examples. For example, one team we do the medication management. So, so it's very important. We're trying to receive reminders, right? So, most of the time could be patient, right? So patients, I want to receive automatic, I want to receive automatic medication reminder so that I never miss a dose. Okay, so this medication management could be benefits to the patient. So I know some of you trying to do is patients relatives, a family member, they want to do, I want receive automation, medication reminder or but the benefits would be different, so that I will help my dad to um, to make sure they will keep track of the dose, something like this, right? So the role could be many different. Trying, you guys need to trying to think about, there's different role probably has a different action or but a different benefit. Okay, so AI worker so AI workout trainer could be for the fitness user. So fitness user who so you can see the different based on different level. So for very high level, they probably will try a lot of the high weight. So they probably will say I want to receive real-time posture feedbacks because I want to avoid the injuries and improve my form. Okay, so you can see the fitness user, they do have the different type of the level. Sometimes people is a beginning user, um, beginner, or at middle level, high level. They probably using the different, they do have the different action they want to do to take a benefit. Okay, this is something you guys need to think about it. So diets, meal management could be nutritionist because they want to check the daily calorie intake. For me, and I they can maintain the balanced diet. Could be, check not maybe not mine, check uh, his his or her customer, right? They can use in this one, to check and maintain a balanced diet, something like this, or the health sickness detection for the phone. So, for example, as a parent, I want to use my phone to detect the early signs of the fever child, so I can take action before the symptom worse because there's so many reasons, right? This one actions. Another thing could be help you to develop, you know, to manage the daycare, or can help you to manage my my work day. Probably one day, probably I need to take off. I need a hands up to my uh, supervisor, right? Doing in order I probably stay home, work from home. So those are something you need to think about And once you read those things, you probably have some more ideas. Okay, so after that, we're trying to test each of the user story. So because we need to make sure those story can be done, there's a signal or something can help you to um, to verify this functionality already be done. Okay, so for example, I'm using the AI workout trainer. So for example, as I said, fitness user who probably want to receive the real-time posture feedback so that I can avoid injuries and improve my form. So system should use the phone camera to check the the posture, and the AI should analyze and detect the incorrect form and provide the instant alert. The user will receive the alert based on the voice or the visual feedbacks on correcting their posture. So this is important for you guys to make sure you need to know what kind of things based on this user story you're trying to provide for the user. And the developer can, based on this user story and acceptance criteria, they can know, oh, this is something I should do, and this is something the tester can test, right? So I read, some of you guys provide some reports to me. Those are, some common mistakes you guys can try to avoid. For example, to work. So for example, as a user, I want a better health tracker. So better health tracker is not easy you know, to be to complete, because how you define the better, what kind of things you're trying to check, right? So you're trying to be more specific. For example, I can say as a user, I want to log my symptom daily so that I can monitor my health trend over time. Okay, so this one tell you what do I want and what the benefit, what the reason I want to do this. Sometimes people give a very broad, the user story. Like for example, as a patient, I want a medication management app. Okay, so people will ask why? Why do you need this app? This app, what kind of feature, or what kind of things can help you to do, right? So it's still very broad, very vague. People, it's very hard to understand what kind of things you really want to do. So you can break it down to many different specifications. So for example, as a patient, I want to scan my prescription bottle so that I can add. So this feature, so scan the prescription bottle. So in order, I can add the medication details easily. Okay. Or as a patient, I want to receive refill reminder so that I never run out of medication. Okay. So this part you need to make sure you are not just to say something, I want something. You need to think about why. Okay. So the clear benefits is very important. Sometimes the benefits shouldn't be, too vague or too broad and well. For example, some people probably say, I want to, as a patient, I want to scan my prescription bottle so that make my life easy. Okay, this is not clear benefit. Okay, or as a fitness user, I want AI trainer. This is also it's not the clear benefits. You can change to a benefits user. As a fitness user, I want an AI trainer that check my form so that I can avoid the workout injuries. Okay, so in end of this um, lecture. So make sure each of you, so right here is each of you in the right three user stories related to your project topic. Okay, again, we're using the same form, as a user, I want the feature so that benefits format. Okay, make sure your user stories are clear, valuable, and actionable. And as a list, one of the user story, you need to provide acceptance criteria to define when it is considered complete. All right, so those are some examples I provide you can use in this. Well, you know, mhm. Just let me know if you have any question.